Hello everybody, it's Brian with Bluegrass Honey and Bees. I'm going through my home yard. I went through a lot of yards this weekend. Memorial Day weekend's a good day to do work, I guess. And I'm finding all my yards, due to the weather here in Kentucky this year, they're all starving. So as it is with beekeeping, I've changed my plans. I'm going to feed everybody. I'm going to pull the supers that I had on in hopes of getting little bit of nectar coming in. I'm going to pull those off. I'm going to put deeps on them, and I'm going to start drawing comb. I'm going to use a little bit of nectar flow coming in to draw comb and build up my bees. And I'm also going to put some treatment on them. I'm going to try this new stuff called Peroxisane. What I'm going to do with the Peroxisane is I'm going to put 4 strips along the tops of the hives instead of in between the frames. I know it says to put it in between the frames. I just don't like how it messes up my comb. The extended release oxalic acid is pretty much, that's all it is. So we're going to try it that way. Plus I'm going to follow it up with another treatment. Last winter I lost a ton of bees. Everybody lost bees, I guess, but I lost a lot. Lost more than I normally do. I lost an entire yard. So you can see all my colonies. They're not big right now. They're small. They're dwindling. That's why they're getting the food. And that's because they just cannot come out when it's raining all the time and gather nectar. We have been getting about 1 to 2 flight days a week, followed by nothing but rain. It's always a good idea to look at your lid and make sure there's not a queen on it. As you can tell, these are dark bees. I like dark bees. It does have some little Italian genetics in there, but I think those are drifters, for lack of better words. I hope they're drifters. So I'm just going to look at this colony and assess for food. Yesterday I came out here and looked at a couple of these colonies, and yesterday I said it's time to emergency feed. And you see there's no food in this frame. The brood's scarce because they're starving. I had 6 colonies on this yard starve. I was busy doing other things. It happens, but this time of year you don't expect to see them starving. And they got some, looks like nectar in there, but that's not nectar. What they're putting away is sugar syrup, because they had a gallon yesterday. This time of year I'd expect to see brood all the way out here to the 9th, 10th frame, with very little honey and honey in the supers. I pulled supers off of all the ones that are singles out here and left some on the other ones just because they were larger. And her brood nest is starting to extend. Let me rephrase that. So she's got brood all the way out to here. So, and I just seen my queen. Queen is right there, and she's marked with a blue dot. I marked her. She's a pretty little thing, and this frame is full of eggs. Just gonna make sure they're not wanting to do anything silly. If they are, you usually can see it by frames right here. Let's have a peeky peek. Yeah, brood pattern ain't really spotty, although it looks that way. It's because there's nectar in those cells, or food, and there could have been pollen. She's a good queen. They're just starving and pulling back, and it's not having a good time of things. So I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with one colony, and then I am not going to record anymore. I don't know how everybody on YouTube manages to record so much. I forget my camera and don't have time half the time. Always in a rush. Some of these frames. Now grab this Peroxisane. And I'm just going to do this because I'm going to use the whole thing on this yard. So. Would have been better if I had it open and prepared ahead of time, but we don't prepare, we improvise. There's 3, there's 4. So I'm going to pull 4 strips out. Based on the instructions, I'm going to smoke them down. I'm gonna go 1, 2, I'm gonna space them out a little bit. 3, and hopefully 4. I gotta move this down a little bit and angle it just to get some more room here. And I think that'll be just fine. I'm giving them a little bit of space so they can move. And then I didn't make up enough deeps for this yard. I miscounted. So now I'm gonna grab a deep. And we're gonna place it on top of this colony. Now there might be a honey flow kickoff. The weather might change. Looking at it right now, it don't look like it's gonna, but what these consist of is 5 frames of undrawn, at least a couple frames that need to be drawn out or that have some comb on it to help draw the bees up here. Every one of these boxes is a little different. Just depended on what I had when I was building boxes. Some of them have 5 frames of completely drawn comb and 5 frames of undrawn comb. And then I'm just going to feed like crazy. I'm not preparing for fall or winter just yet, so I'm going to feed less than 1-to-1 sugar syrup. It'll be closer to 1.5 to 1, 1.5 water to 1 pound of sugar. We'll just button these fellers back up. Make sure my bucket's still draining. Back on top. One reason that prompted me to do this, besides seeing nothing in the hives, is at home and everywhere I go, bees are out looking. They're looking in my house, they're looking in my storage building. Any smell of sugar, any smell of sweet, and they're all over it right now. So apparently the nectar flow is not going to happen this year, which it's an odd year. It's rain. Last year we were drowning in honey. This year I'm going to run out. Anyway, short video. Thanks guys. Have a great day.